and gentlemen, now we're going to have the discussion on empowering fintech companies to succeed with a security-first mindset. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have Mr. Navaneethan, who has worked a lot in the cybersecurity, business continuity, data privacy, GDPR, cloud security, threat management, risk management, and many more. So let's put our hands together and please welcome Mr. Navaneethan M, CISO ex PayU. Let's put our hands together.
Awesome. Very good evening, everyone. I'm able to see a lot of my friends. Just I spoke to them, a couple of my friends over there, and for guidance as well as input on that. I believe I don't know how many of you are aware, before coming over here, there is a circular from, RBI. And it's purely about just how you're going to take care of your POS machines, right? If you see this current environment, current systems, what we have it every week there is a movie release, right? Every Friday, you know that, right? How the movie get released, it's on the Friday evening. Because Saturday, Sunday, they want to give it us, or the Friday morning they will do it. The same way, if you see the current system, it's like every Friday there is a, circulars and the notifications and guidelines where the CISOs and then CIO cannot sleep on, Saturday, Sunday. So their focus is how we can, get things done. Awesome. So amazing. It's maybe sharp 7, and let's see. I'll try to wind up maybe another 15 minutes. I'll ensure that I'll not get bored, as well as maybe the time difference between the 7 to 7:15. We have some thought and then some learnings. It's maybe from you also, right? It's not in one way. Really, just I want to learn from this you also. Shall I use this pointer? So if you see this title, moreover, just I made it as it's a compliance with the hacker mindset. Because the reason behind is compliance alone it won't help. As well as always, if you have a hacker mindset, that won't help us, right? Really, just we need both combination of the compliance with the hacker mindset. Then only we can do it. If you see this department, just what are the departments? Maybe the leaders who have over here, just they can demonstrate it. Always, we have a combination of AppSec. If you see this all young chap, who is so enthusiastic in terms of covering this application security and then how we want to market them. But the compliance, if you see this, we would have put it as senior, because in terms of we need a blend in terms of approaching the people and then get things done, right? That's the way it's a combination where we keep it. This is a very interesting structure. This is what I was talking. Just maybe any of you guess it, what exactly, you wanted to have it. This is what it's happening in maybe the current fintech, not only on the fintech, right? If you take this any environment, of course, you can see, the CEO, CISOs, and then CEO in the bed. But CISO, you cannot see in the, the bed over there. Because that's they'll be reading the circular, what best we can do that, how, things can be taken care. Because always they own the responsibility, right? That's a unique difference between the other department and the other department. Because we want to ensure that 360-degree coverage of what exactly, needs to be taken care over there. And this is very interesting content, right? Or maybe you would have seen it in the Hotstar. Maybe in the February 27, the Hotstar stopped working. Have you experienced any time? Yeah, absolutely. This is it stopped work. Think about it. They had their domain for the 25 years. Okay, but they forgot to renew this domain on the respective areas. If somebody's trying to pick it up over there, actually the same way it's SSL certificate. So even the bigger organizations, it's multi-billion-dollar company, but maybe even though just we may miss out something in the minor, but which may create the huge impact from the end to end. That's a small stuff, right? But just here we cannot point out whether it's a problem with technologies or it's a problem with tools or it's a compliance issues, right? Ultimately there is a flaw which has happened across this entire systems. This is a few more interesting. Maybe who are on AppSec, you guys can tell me, right? Anybody's from AppSec team? Of course, you play all. So maybe any specific thought from this picture? What do you guys think about it? It's a SQL injection, absolutely. What else? anything, maybe from OPSEC folks, maybe this side I'm able to see young chaps. There's a car, right? It's just a car. It's like a Renault car, and it's a black color. It's parked on the parking. What else? It's a nameplate, right? It's a nameplate that's like a vulnerabilities. In 2014, in US, there is a lot of robbery. It was happening. There's a lot of robbery in the sense, it's a pure bank, and there is no evidence. Like, till some time there is a, all CCTV footage, everything and all. But so once your robbery is done, then again it start working over there actually. You can see that drop database. When the CCTV captured this image, it started to process, and then it dropped. It dropped means like it deleted the entire database of the respective things. So there is a CCTV unique model that has such a features. It's very simple, right? It may not require the hacking team. It may not require the bigger gangsters. Nothing like that actually, because the only thing is we should know where is the gap. Then it's easy to penetrate and then get things done. So that's the way the hacking. That's what it's the compliance. What we are evolving across the world. This is a very interesting statement. I mean, most of the CEO presentations I make it up. Wherever you go as a hacker, really they have to be successful only once. But as a defender, it's maybe a CEO or maybe CISO or CIO. Really just we need a lot of efforts and then protections. 1,000 out of thousands, really we need the protections. It's a very difficult, right? We cannot say that out of 1,000 I have protected 999, only one ransomware that has taken close to $100 million. We cannot ignore that, right? That's what just this comes to the the compliance pictures. What exactly we wanted to move ahead. This is very interesting, right? I mean, without compliance, can we run the show? Or without AppSec, can we run the show? Like how we can, the possible, right? It is possible. Maybe in India, close to Mumbai, there's a place called Shani. That place, this entire village does not have door. Think about it. This village does not have a door at all. So that means on this entire village have the self-discipline, like in terms of anything, who are all having things, how they have to take it up, and then how they have to protect it. It may not require any other defending, the mechanisms over there, right? So that aspects, of course, but from digital standpoint, we need a lot of controls and the mechanisms. So that's what just we are going to, just have a look on that. This is, of course, when we are just connecting the team, like the people will say we are so happy we are certified by PCI, ISO, HIPAA, SOC type 2, just they make all the things and all. But just we instruct our team, like let's not have as one eye, right? Let's have other ways, like from the hacker mind standpoint, with a MITRE attack where I can get into your systems or not. That's the bigger things where we are going to face it. So from security standpoint, all the views, what are the controls, what are the things just we want to have it. Really we want to have a look of from compliance mindset. It's like it may not be a tick mark now. It is absolutely different. Maybe I'll tell you what are the consequences it's happening. The another standpoint, really we need the hacker views, what exactly we want to take it up. Then as we agree, that's of course, data is everything. That's no, second thought. Like, what are the business? Maybe let's take a data request standpoint where we have the 100 people, if you have it, 100 people are CISO, 100 people are CIO, or maybe who's buying Jewel, or who is buying the mobile. That's like whatever it is, whatever you do on mobile, whatever things you do on the things, it's considered as, it's a data, right? It's like that's what it is, a business evolving. Of course, earlier you remember that, right? I mean, who are all, maybe Nazim and Salim, just they can agree, where we have a close to 500 pages of yellow pages from telephone directory, but still we had all the address, mobile number, everything. That's like everything knows by the everyone. Every house, when you're getting new connections, you'll get a big book actually, where you can refer across India. If you know there's a name, alphabetical order, we can find an address and then you can trace it. That's what it is. But now it's very difficult, right? We are hesitant to show this, our number, like where I have it, what I have pursued, and then how it is moving on that, right? That's a little bit bigger pictures. That's what I'm saying, like if you want to study about you, it may not require to go through your email, right? It's very simple. That's like sentimental analysis. Just I can take your Facebook profile, LinkedIn profile, I can see what are the things you liked it, what are the comment you posted, and then I can make a correlation of your study, like what kind of persons you are, what you like it. So based on that, I can push the ad to you, right? So that's like very simple. And similarly, if you take your SMS, that itself, it's more than enough. It will give you like, what is your salary deposited on 1st or maybe 31st, where and all you spend. And then if you get a 6 month of data, we can do this complete analysis, where you're spending more, where you're spending less, how it is moving on that, right? So that's what the data is absolutely scattered, like from end to end. This is, it's from the data breach standpoint, where I have done the bifurcations. We are thinking about just what are the data we hold it. It's like, it may not be data, right? Now we are part of ecosystems. Earlier, remember that, right? If you take the bank, if you want to do withdraw, maybe let us take 1,000 rupees or 1 lakh, we should be in queue for a day. It's just, I'm talking about 15 years back. Then let's talk about this 5 years back. Like we should be in the, what is that? ATM, not Paytm. Yeah, it's a ATM, right? In terms of where you'll be in the queue. Now it's absolutely different, right? It's like a fraction of a second just where we are moving in terms of multiple thousands of transactions. So like all the retail transaction is taken care from end to end, right? So we are part of ecosystem. That's what just in terms of the data leakages and where we have a lot of compliance enforcements, how we are connecting and then taking it to the data. This little I have given a little bit on the the breaches. Just what are the key inputs just I have given was it's like all giant. The world, the best the hackers who has it is in terms of the Facebook and Sin Universe as well as couple of other key entity. But still there are a lot of challenges, right? I mean still how it is happening. That's what it's coming to the vendor risk management, that's the integrations. Maybe your entity standpoint absolutely fine, but just when you're connecting your entity to other entity, then there is a SaaS provider, then there is an external surface, where it is going to expose, right? So that aspects where we have a lot of the challenges. It's a huge and it's on the dark web surface, but however, it's like why if you see the compliance or maybe from hacker standpoint, it's a lot of challenges, right? The earlier, if you see, it's like maybe 23 years back, my entire engineering projects where we had in 1.44 MB of floppy. Now think about it. So 1.44 MB, we cannot take a one photo. The one photo itself, it's a 5 to 6 MB it comes over there, right? The storage also, it's gone. I mean, I think, how many of you are aware, it's like 8 MB of, hard disk. The IBM, they was, moving in the big container. And where we are excited among such a bigger storage, so it is moving from one place to other place. It's like a bigger news it was coming. Now it is each mobile we had a multiple terabytes of data, right? It's like a data movement, data evolving. It's really gone beyond that, right? Because as well as we generate the news, everybody generate the news. It's not like earlier if you want to take a photo. You remember that, right? The Konica film, like where you have a 30 film. It's like if you want to click a photo, we'll be very accurate, bang on that. But now it's think about this click, like, the only hand is coming out to take a pic of, the multiple stuff. So they never bother like which angle they are taking. But just ultimately, since storage, all the things and all, it came to the consumable, then moving on the, the right track. This is World Economic Forum. This is very interesting and really we need to realize a lot of items on there. The World Economic Forum, think about it's a risk alone, just maybe if you see the 5th point where we have cyber risk is a bigger risk. The first one is of course the energy and supply chain as well as maybe cost of living. Definitely it is going to be a little bit bigger than ever in the last year. It's a huge, right? It's like their accuracy, their assessment will be awesome and it will be perfect. And then themselves, they have assessed and then analyzed for it as like cyber risk is going to hit on the a little bit on the bigger way. This is if you take the ransomware market is a little bit wider now. It's like earlier the people used to having in terms of just how to hack the infrastructure and then get things done. Now the hacking is no more. Just lock the system, freeze the systems, and then from there we can take it up. If you give this ransom, just we can release it. And there is a major debate in the couple of forums, like why they are touching on the government as well as the medical pharmaceutical institute. So that also become the commercial now, right? In terms of the tablet, or maybe in terms of the medical, or in terms of hospital, that also become it's the pure commercial. So that aspect, it's like a ransomware. It's a purely 247 billion market in the current year. It's from last year to this year, it's like close to 2x of the pump it was happened. On the left side, just even though it's a ransomware, but in terms of business standpoint for defensive area, just where we have the wide opportunity in terms of the data protections, in terms of MSSP, as well as in terms of the GRC. That's like breakup. It's across a global, like how we're going to be add values. See, just coming to the main point, right? What do we wanted to have the conversations? Actually, I'm not in the group. Just of course, I moved to Tata Play just a couple of months back. But when I was in a group, and then PayU, where we have a close to 12 entity in terms of just managing, like RBA alone, where we are liable with the POS, we are liable with in terms of a credit card, debit card, and just on top of that SEBI. And then SEBI, we have a multiple stuff, right? And there's a BSE, NSE, CDSL, NSTL. It's like everyone have a different regulations. And then on top of that, just where we have the NPCA, where just UPI transactions, what's happening with it. Then by default, of course, so who are all registered under MCA, we have to like with certain. Then on top of that, of course, IRDA come out with the recent regulations, like what are things which needs to be covered there. So this will be holistic approach, like what we have it. Of course, there is a unified, high trust unified framework. This will also helping in the bigger way how we can ensure, and then how we can take it forward that actually. But what is the challenges in terms of getting the certifications? If you see this current trend, people are talking about just maybe spend a few lakhs, I can get the certification. So certification doesn't matter, right? It's ultimately you are going to handle the public data, how you're going to protect, how you're going to defend this play very significant role. This is really, I'm not sure, like how many of us we are aware in terms of the penalty as well as in terms of imprisonment. But this is from the IT Act 2000, and in terms of non-compliance of things, it's like very less, right? How many of you wear helmet only for our safety, or maybe to ensure the presence of cops? Always you look for that, right? This area, cops will not be there. Helmet is not required. It's like including me, right? That's what the mindset. I'm going in the local. This area, cops will not be. This area, definitely cops. The corner, there will be a guy. So we can. So like, it's always, it's going on the compliance mindset, right? If you want to wear something, but just from fintech standpoint, we are looking not on the compliance mindset. They are the father, right? They are the parents. From that, there's all the controls. It's flowing down. Just how you're going to take enforcements from end to end. And this is one, of course, before coming to this, I was discussing with Nazim in terms of, there is a penalty class. I don't know, like how many of you are aware. Last month, NSE had declared, that, right? NSE, they done the audit every quarter. And last year, till this last year, what they are doing is they release some report, and then it shows like everything is compliant. That's like close to 140 plus controls. The last quarter onwards, what they have done is they have appointed the auditor. NSE, BSE, they have given the auditor. They have to go and do the audit. It's like a plenty of findings. Who all said last month it is 100% compliance. They handled with like 100 plus findings. It's a huge, right? And then just they have issued the circular in the last month. Henceforth, maybe if you found anything on the critical findings, it's maybe the SAS report, or it may be in terms of cyber report. That's like another penalty, like a 50,000 plus. They have given a timeline based on that, like 1 month, 2 months. Based on the timeline, still you are not, comply with it, then it is a 1 lakh for the each findings. The next very important thing is, if it is 7 days, you will not close the things. You cannot ignore, like, I'm paying penalty, then I can extend my own time, right? If you don't hit 7 days, they can close your license. It's already close to 6 to 7 things. It's already closed because of, the non-compliance of this stuff. This is a Mitre attack. That's what always I balance, like in terms of not only on the compliance mindset, right? What are the compliances of parents? And the MITRE attack, it's maybe you can take it as sister and brother. Sister and brother, always they do the cosmetic stuff, right? What exactly they have to ensure that, and then how we wanted to move it in. Even though we ensure that ISO 27001, but just we run on the MITRE attack, how the control penetrations from end to end, it has been taken care. So that's play very, the significant role. And just couple of artifacts, and that's like in terms of the data growth and how we are, this evolving. But it's very interesting stuff. Maybe another 2-3 minutes, I'll try to, wind up. This is on the compliance. I think many of you heard this story. It's like Ashley medicine, right? There's an extra marital, right? After you got married, if you want to have the external relationship, just you can go and register such a bill. It's like a Canada-based company. That's a lady, and she has hired the couple of teams saying that like I want to take out my husband from the respective area. So she hired the team called Impact Team. The team just went inside and then trying to find out like the husband name and then where and all that guy had a relationship, and then they try to take the take out the data. Then the Impact Team found there is a lot of regulation issues. There is a subscription issue saying that like just I'm paying for $50 for subscription. Then you have to pay $100 for the unsubscription. Once you pay this $100, they have to ensure that all your record has been deleted. What are the chat? What are the communications you had? Everything. That's like terms and conditions. So that's what it is agreed. But this Ashley medicine team, none of the data has been deleted over there. So they have taken out, it's like in terms of 37 million data. They have put this, they have hacked the entire website saying that like if you don't shut down the website, like we'll be disclosing this, all the 37 million users to the outside. All the 37 million users can sue them in terms of the law. So this is a compliance, right? There's a compliance and regulations power. So if you take a government office, if you want to get things in something, like if you're corrupted, maybe if you pay maybe 1,000 rupees, 2,000 rupees, it can be get it done just like that. But if you go on the compliance, exactly, this is a 10 document I wanted XYZ, you never get it done actually. Because that's what it's up, the compliance power, right? So that's then finally, it's like a lot of bigger story. This itself we can run for a day. Then finally, they have released of 5 million, the users, all politician, actor, actress, so many people have committed suicide. After this, the Ashley medicine incident. Then just there is a bigger step like saying that like government came in with a regulatory, we have to ensure that everything is taken care. If there's unsubscription, they have to do the audit, ensure that data has been deleted from the respective database. The one bigger example, the next one is in terms of the target. The target is, they are the giant. Like my friend was, working with it under, the CISO during that time. And if you take a target, it's like a little bit bigger. It's like all the stores. What are the complaints you call it is they have it. ISO, PCI, hip-hop, and in terms of the SOC type 2, whatever you call it is, they have all the complaints. But just in terms of the vendor management, they missed out. You know that, right? It's like there's a AC repair mechanisms. It's on the AC, where the server room, AC mechanisms, where this mechanic go to the server room because he has access to that, but he has access to all the data also, what is coming from your past machine. What are the store, you're swiping the card, that's a one copy, it goes to the, the server room. So they were started to tap this entire card and then they started to sold, this outside, the market. It's like very bigger hit. That's a echoes, for cyber security, they are the forefathers, I can say. After that only it's got evolved, and then where we are getting to the bigger way. So in this aspect, really, just I wanted to conclude from compliance and then hacker mindset needs to be, the balance. It's really just we cannot take it up. The compliance is tick mark. It's not the case at all. That's like the parents, maybe during that enforcement looks like, may not great, but when you're coming to the ground level, that's play very significant approach. As well as now we have a lot of controls and enforcements and a lot of vendors where we are onboarding, and that's a supply chain attack. It's going on the bigger way. That's what just we have categorized, like we have the knowns and knowns, attacks, as well as knowns and unknowns, and then unknowns. The unknowns and unknowns definitely can be captured by if you have amazing effective enforcements of the GRC. In terms of the overall compliance or the overall risk or overall the governance, we have it where we can predict or we can detect in terms of, the unknowns area. This is like a very high level where I have given, of course, as part of governance, really we have to uplift this entire security team as well as the board in terms of what exactly it is required. The board should not ignore saying that it's like one of the risks. This is one of the biggest risks in the the organization. The CEO may have a business of 3x plan, right? But if you have this kind of stuff in terms of breach, it may go to the minus 3x in terms of the reputations and all the things and all. And this I have a lot of other stuff like how the ransomware mafia, it's like a bigger gang, what it is evolving on the ransomware side. In terms of the GRC and then MITRE attack, really we are defending with a lot of controls. And this is my very interesting stuff, right? Wherever you see the, specifically the SCRUT team, what they're taking the complaints. Of course, from India's standpoint, there are a couple of giants, but still it's not reachable by the, startups and then other folks. But there's always, I believe, like in the middle of a difficulty lies opportunity. This will be applicable in my life as well as, just wherever, our team does it, like this cannot be possible. Then there is opportunity. Let's dig it further. That's the way we move and then, get things done. Amazing, folks. I think I have taken, this more than the time, just 5 minutes more. I think I have taken over there. I really am happy to take a questions if you have anything on that, and otherwise just we can take a offline discussion, and from there we can move ahead.
Well, anybody from the audience who have any question, please raise your hand up so that you get an opportunity to question directly.
Awesome, folks. So thanks a lot. Thank you so much, and looking forward to connect with you all. Thanks a lot.